we doing today? My name is Nehemiah Peterson and I am a portrait and real estate photographer from Burlington, Wisconsin. And today we are going to be talking about the Xt4, the Xt3, why you should pick which one, and why I switched over to the 4 from the 3. So I think that most people can agree that the biggest flaw with the Xt3 was its horrible battery life. And I mean, honestly, when you open up these little Xt3 batteries, you can kind of already tell that it's not going to give you much life. Comparing it to the Xt4 batteries, you can already tell that it's significantly bulkier. I've been shooting on the Xt3 now for close to a year, and battery life has definitely been the biggest drawback of the use of the camera. It's been very annoying being on shoots and only getting like 45 minutes of 4K record time out of it, and having to say to my clients, hold on 1 second while I change my battery. Again. So I'm definitely hoping that I get more record time out of this beefier battery. The second biggest thing that most people are excited about is the introduction of internal in-body image stabilization. It stabilizes the sensor and makes for some gimbal-like handheld video stuff. Not having IBIS hasn't negatively impacted me too much, but I'm definitely excited to use it as I am introducing myself to the greater video world, like music videos and more real estate projects moving forward. I'm also thinking that I want to get into maybe making some smaller short films or even doing wedding video, and having IBIS is going to be a huge help in both of those things. The third thing that everybody's really excited about on the Xt4 is, yes, everyone is super excited about the tilt flip screen, and personally for me, I've honestly been letting the fact that I can't really see myself very well while making videos hold me back from making more videos, and I guess I negatively reinforced myself. I don't know if I'm using that right. But now that I have this flip screen, I have one less excuse to not make videos, so I'm planning on making a lot more videos. Subscribe below if you want to see more from me. Having a tilt flip screen really helps out with if you want to make vlogs or things like that, because you're able to see yourself, you're able to make sure that your framing is good, your exposure is good, your color is good, and you don't always have to worry about fixing it in post because you're able to see yourself while you're actually filming it. That being said, making videos on the Xt3 definitely has helped me to worry a lot less about the camera settings and worry more about my content because I can't see myself. So I will say that not having a tilt flip screen isn't the end of the world, but most YouTubers and content creators recommend a tilt flip screen, so I'm happy to have one now. And that just about covers it. That's pretty much all the big things that are different with this camera compared to the Xt3. The Xt4 definitely does have a few extra features, like a bigger grip to hold the camera. It also has 240 frames per second internally, which I've heard is really fun to use, but not actually super useful when it comes to professional projects, so I don't really know how much I'm going to be using that. I also know that a lot of people love to film their B-roll in 120, and I mean, I definitely have done it before, but I personally shoot most of mine in 60p, which I'm sure some of you are like, oh yeah, I can tell. And but that being said, 240 frames per second isn't really that useful to me when I'm already not really using 120 very much. So that brings me to the Xt3. Why would we be talking about the Xt3 in an unboxing video of the Xt4? My reason for that being, there's some of you who are watching this and are wondering, should I upgrade to the Xt4? Or maybe you haven't bought either yet and you're wondering, is the Xt4 really worth the extra money, or should I go the cheaper route and get the Xt3? Today I wanted to give you guys 3 good reasons why you should buy the Xt3 over the Xt4. Number 1 is if you're a photographer exclusively. While it is nice to have a tilt flip screen for video, if you're doing almost exclusively photography, the tilt up screen on the back of the Fujifilm Xt3 is definitely more enjoyable, I found, for photography. Especially if you're doing photography like documentary or weddings or things where you're trying to capture candid moments. It's really nice to be discreet and have as small of a footprint as possible, and the Fujifilm Xt3 really provides that when you're trying to be discreet. The tilt flip screen on the Fujifilm Xt4 definitely isn't annoying or large, but it is bigger when you flip it out and are able to look at it straight down if you're shooting from the hip in comparison to the Xt3, where you just flip it up behind the camera. Another big thing to point out for photographers is that the sensor in this bad boy is actually the exact same sensor that's in the Xt3. So you're gonna be getting the same megapixels, the same autofocus, the same performance photography-wise out of the X-T4 that you were getting out of the X-T3. All that to say, if you are exclusively, or pretty much exclusively, a photographer only, I don't think it's worth it to get the X-T4. I think you should save your money, get the X-T3, and get yourself extra accessories or an extra lens. And maybe some extra batteries for that crap battery life. It's really not that bad unless you're doing video, but I just like to mess with it because I have been doing a lot of video lately, and the battery life for video is pretty trash. We already kind of touched on this, but the second big reason that I would say stick with the X-T3 is the price. If you are just starting off and getting into the Fujifilm system, I think it might not be a bad idea to actually save your money. Don't buy the new big flagship camera, buy the cheaper X-T3, buy an extra lens, buy some extra batteries, buy some extra accessories, and really dive into the Fuji system as cheap as possible. The Fujifilm X-T3 is still an amazing camera for photo, for video, for anything that you could want out of a camera. It's really good for vlogs, even though it doesn't have IBIS or a big battery or a flip out screen. And if you don't believe the new guy who barely has any videos or subscribers, check out Zach Mayfield's channel. Most of the videos that he has filmed in the past 6 months or so have been on the Fujifilm X-T3. You can find the Fujifilm X-T3 used for about $1,000, and the X-T4 you can only buy new at this point, and that's $1,700. So for the price of a body-only X-T4, you can get an X-T3, 1 or 2 used lenses, and several batteries. Both of the cameras have 10-bit color and video, 26 megapixel sensors for photos, and I honestly just think that the bang for your buck with the X-T3 is unbeatable in the current market. The third reason that I would recommend the X-T3 over the X-T4 is the size. The reason I bring this up as a pro instead of a con, even though I said that I like the X-T4's grip better, is because not everybody has really big hands like me. I have heard a lot of Fujifilm shooters say that they prefer the grip on the X-T3 if they have smaller hands. So this might honestly be a pro for you. I know that a lot of Fujifilm users did not like the grip on the X-H1. They said it was very bulky and very annoying to hold. But that being said, I haven't used an X-H1, but I have heard that the X-T4's grip feels a lot more like the X-H1 and not the X-T3. So if you've got small hands and how your camera feels in your hands is a big deal to you, keep the X-T3 in mind. It might be the better camera for you. And lastly, why did I personally switch over to the X-T4 from the X-T3? The first big reason for me was YouTube. As I want to get more and more serious about this platform and making videos on it, I want to invest and make sure that I'm doing it to the best of my ability. That being said, having that flip screen and having IBIS for my vlogs, I personally think is gonna make a big difference in how I enjoy making videos, how my videos look, and honestly, that's a big part of it. If you don't enjoy how your content looks, you're gonna be less likely to make it, and you're gonna make it a lot less often. The second big reason for me choosing the X-T4 over the X-T3 for my next camera was actually because I'm trying to just get more serious about video in general. And again, having that IBIS, having those extra video features is really gonna be something that I think is going to help me out in the long run when I'm trying to get more serious about this craft. The third reason that I chose buying the X-T4 as my second camera instead of the X-T3 is because my wife has always had a camera alongside me. We've always made sure that she is able to second shoot weddings with me, and that being said, she cares a lot about her Instagram and wants to have really good content on it, so she likes having a good camera. I'm gonna link her Instagram down below if you guys are interested in checking it out. That being said, Ivy's never really had a pro body. She used to have my hand-me-down Canon T5i, then she upgraded to the Canon 6D, and then when we switched to the Fujifilm system, she got the Fujifilm XE3. And while all three of those cameras are amazing cameras, she's never had a pro camera body. So with me upgrading to the X-T4, I asked her what camera she wanted. She used my X-T3 for a while, and she told me, number one, she loved how it felt, she loved the images, she loved everything about it, and number two, she felt like all the extra bells and whistles that come with the X-T4 were really unnecessary for her. So we decided to keep the X-T3 and have her use it as her main camera. The X-T3 also pairs up very nicely as a B camera for the X-T4. So if I ever need a second camera angle, I can just throw it in my bag and I'll have two cameras on me. So those are my thoughts on the Xt4, the Xt3, and why I personally decided to go with the Xt4 over the Xt3 as my second camera. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did and you want to see more from me, please do leave a like below, as well as subscribing to see whenever I upload a new video. Also, if you're interested in the Xt3 or the Xt4, please leave a comment down below and let me know which one you're choosing and why you're choosing it. When I was looking for the Xt4, I watched a ton of videos like this, so I just thought it would be really awesome to make one of my own so that hopefully I can help somebody out in picking the right camera for them. Alright guys, thanks again for joining me in this video. Until next time, peace.